What's up, everybody? Welcome to another video. I'm a tattooed preacher, and this video is gonna be a bit of a rant against all of the hate that's directed towards celebrity pastors. I don't know if you've seen any videos on YouTube or on social media, but there is so much negativity that's directed at men and women who have influence in the lives of influential people. And they get so much, I feel like, unfair criticism, getting judged, getting ridiculed. And so I'm not gonna call out any YouTube channels or any specific people in general, but I do want to just kind of throw my 2 cents into this equation and just get some stuff off my chest, because you know what? I got some love for quote unquote celebrity pastors. And so I'm just gonna kind of go over just a few things that are on my heart, and I hope that it makes sense, and I hope that it speaks to you as well. First thing I wanna say, as we kind of venture in and as you get the privilege of hearing my rant, is I want to admit that there are and have been pastors and influential leaders in the church that have made some dumb choices. And I don't need to name any names. I'm pretty sure we all know who they are. And so I'm not going to, or I don't want to kind of neglect that or kind of, come at this and not address that from the get-go, because that has happened. All right, I'm fully aware of that. But my contention is this, is that oftentimes all this hate being directed at celebrity pastors is kind of, they take a select few situations and then they kind of lump everybody into the same category, because there are men and women right now who are pastoring and leading very influential people and who are doing an amazing job at that. But because of other people and choices that they've made, other pastors, other leaders, everyone gets kind of lumped into the same category. And to me, that's just not fair. And so I just want to kind of throw that out there at the beginning. I'm fully aware of all the stuff that's happened, especially in recent months and years, but not every quote unquote celebrity pastor has made those mistakes and made those dumb choices. So let's not throw everyone into the same group, okay? So that's the first thing I kind of want to throw out at the beginning. The next thing is this. The term celebrity pastor. I feel like, now, I'm not completely sure, but I'm quite certain that celebrity pastors never gave themselves that phrase, that name, right? That's been given to people who are pastoring, influential people, and it's kind of has this, when you hear it, it's kind of always used in this kind of negative way. And so that's my first kind of contention is the term celebrity pastor, because why can't we just refer to them as pastors? Why can't we refer to them as pastors who happen to be just pastoring influential people, whether that be actors, musicians, athletes, famous social media people or famous people in the business world, because that's what they are. They are pastors who happen to be pastoring famous people. And so to kind of coin the term celebrity pastor just has this negative and kind of unfair tone to it, that when you hear it, you're already like, you're already judging the person and judging that pastor and that leader just from that term. And so I want to just stop that. Can we just not refer to them as celebrity pastors? And I know that I've already said celebrity pastor like 50 times already in the few minutes of this video, but I wanted to get to this point first to change it. So I don't want to refer to them as celebrity pastors anymore. So can we just stop doing that? Let's just call them pastors, and pastors who happen to be leading and pastoring influential people. Okay, so that's my first contention. Okay, so the next part of my rant that I kind of want to tackle here, I want to ask the question: don't influential people, whether that's athletes, whether that's musicians, actors, don't they have a right to be pastored? Shouldn't they be pastored? Well, of course they should. Now, if that's true, then there needs to be pastors who are going to pastor them. Right here, there's this tension because so many people, so many Christians sit on the outside and they love judging pastors who are pastoring influential people, but who else is going to do that? How are famous people? How are celebrities? How are they supposed to meet Jesus? Who's going to preach to them the gospel? Who's going to walk with them and disciple them, right? They need to be pastored, which means they're going to have to be Christians, number one, but two, they're going to have to be pastors and leaders to actually do that work, which means pastors are going to be around them. And depending on what kind of celebrity status and all that kind of stuff, depending on what that world looks like, the pastor is may or may not be kind of around that, but that's where the problem comes in. A famous person, depending on the level of their fame, can't just show up on a Sunday morning at some random church. Because of their career choice and because of their status in society, that just can't happen. That comes with the territory. So pastoring may look different. The discipleship process may look a bit different as opposed to a non-celebrity person getting discipled by their pastor at their church. We have to be careful, and this is part of my contention, because these pastors get judged and ridiculed for being associated with celebrities and sometimes having to enter into their world. And then right off the bat, man, they get judged because all of a sudden in tabloids and magazines and articles are written about this pastor and this pastor and this person is seen with this celebrity over here. And then it blows up and a lot of the time the stuff is not true or it's taken way out of context. And then you have all the Christians on the outside looking at the situation and they're just going to be blasting this particular pastor, and it's not fair. It may look different, but it's going to take people, pastors and leaders whom God's going to put and give favor to, who are going to have to enter into that kind of world, who know how to speak that language, who know how to earn trust, who know how to think outside the box perhaps. It's going to take that kind of maybe a bit of creativity, but just because it may look different does not mean it's not from God. And we can't be quick to judge that, because these people, celebrities, influential people in all spheres of society, they need Jesus just like anybody else and everybody else. And so the third part of my little rant that I want to talk about, get off my chest, is that pastoring is hard. There is a cost and there is a weightiness to pastoring that a lot of people from the outside looking in just simply don't know. Like, pastoring is not just preaching once a week. And a lot of times, people look at pastors and they're like, oh, that's the easiest job in the world. Well, I've been in and around ministry my entire life. I've pastored, I've had family that were all pastors, and I know the toil that it can take on a family, that it can take on a person individually, that there's a weightiness to it. There's this burden that comes with being a pastor and being in the ministry that just a lot of people just don't know, and it's hard. The price is high. It's a weighty responsibility that God places on certain people. So not everyone's called to be, quote unquote, pastors, because it's a weighty calling. We have to remember that these influential pastors who God has put in the lives of influential people, that price, that cost of being a pastor when you are in the spotlight, when your whole life is now made public, when because maybe you're a pastor who has a large church and there may be famous people that go to your church, that just adds a whole other element of pressure on the life of that particular pastor or leader. And it's hard. I have no idea what that would feel like, because I've just been pastoring in smaller churches, so I can't imagine that pressure and that weightiness of having to be a pastor of a massive church, or being entrusted with pastoring a famous person or famous people who carry a lot of weight in society and culture. That weightiness, that cost and that price would be so high. And so I want to say this: it's very easy to get caught up in judging and criticizing, especially when ministry in this context may look a bit different than traditional ministry. And it's easy to judge. I mean, to be honest, I've done it myself. I get caught up in the news and in the media and read the tabloids, and you hear stuff that's just sometimes taken way out of context, sometimes not true. And instead of getting caught up in that, we need to be taking time to pray for these men and women whom God has put in the lives of influential people. And I'm not saying this as a way out, because there have been, as I mentioned before, there have been pastors who've made some horrible choices, really big mistakes that have caused a lot of damage. So this isn't a way out for pastors. Just because pastoring is hard, it gives them a free pass. No. But we need to be lifting up these brothers and sisters in Christ, that God would protect them, that God would give them wisdom and understanding, that God would protect their marriages and their families, that God would protect their inner circle, that God would give them good counsel, good direction. Because when's the last time you prayed for an influential pastor? When's the last time you brought them before the Lord and prayed for them? See, it's so easy to criticize and to judge and to sit back and look and say, oh, they must be not doing good. I mean, look where they hung out. Look where they were. Look what this article said. Look at this picture. It's easy to judge from the outside when you have no idea what's happening on the inside. Well, that's it for my rant today. I feel like I said everything, got everything off my chest. So I don't like the term celebrity pastor. Let's stop using it. They're just pastors who pastor influential people. And the second thing was that influential people, famous people, they need to be pastored. And it just may look different than what you're used to, so let's not judge and criticize. And third, let's be praying. Let's be praying for these men and women who've been tasked by God to lead and pastor influential ministries and influential people. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Feel free to follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I post pretty much every day on there, so come hang out with me on TikTok and Instagram. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching all the way to the end, those of you that did. Much love. God bless.